Being different can sometimes just end up making you feel wrong, and sometimes not even as bad as wrong, just out of place, and it's just constant when you don't quite know who you are or how you feel. And I'm not even sure I've completely finished that journey for myself, but definitely that feeling of just sort of out of placeness for a long time and not knowing why. Hi, I'm Mara. I'm non-binary and I use he, they, she pronouns, and I play for the Timberwolves women's soccer team. If I wore soccer shorts and t-shirts until partway through high school, that's what I did because I wanted to. There was definitely a bit of distress as I got older into high school and sort of university of like feeling like I had to look more feminine. It was definitely that, trying to look more feminine to make yourself feel more feminine because I didn't feel like a girl. So it's always been a feeling. Finding the actual definition of that, I definitely knew the term non-binary for a while, but I always thought it was that big, oh wow, moment, and it's just sort of always been there for me. I was under an impression for a long time that if I wanted to get top surgery, it was because I had to want to fully transition to being a man, and I definitely didn't want to do that either. And so again, Quinn, having top surgery, getting top surgery, and not identifying as male, being just trans was a big turning point for me of really considering actually getting surgery done. Yeah, you could have asked me at any point, basically after middle school, if I could just snap my fingers and have my breast be cut. I would have said absolutely yes. And so of course the surgery is a much bigger deal than just snapping your fingers. But it's still, the surety of it sort of remained the same. People were gonna find out, and that's for me, that's how it went, and I was pretty fine with that. I don't know how other people felt about it, but I didn't ask too many people, honestly. I sort of just had it happen, and then now it's who I am. There was some people I talked to before getting surgery just because I wanted to let them know, and they were also sort of in my vicinity and in my support group at the time. And there's a few friends that I told, and they had a moment where they went, huh? And then they went, yeah, that suits you. Like that fits with how you are, which was really, like that word validating, it actually was validating. I know that's a word that kind of gets overused these days. But it was validating to have that sort of thing because I was still on like that edge of surgery's a big deal. But I did want to get it done. And so having people sort of say that, yeah, that does suit you, was really nice. Honestly, the top surgery was a big thing for me, feeling much more comfortable in my skin than before. And so I would say I feel more like me, and I just feel more calm about things too, more sure about myself, if anything. I don't know if I've always felt like me, but then starting to have the world around me reflect that back as well, rather than feeling like I'm being me, but I'm swimming up current instead. Now it feels like you're going with, or the rivers, I guess, is going with the flow of me now instead. For me, being proud of myself is often something that was optional for me to do, and this didn't really feel optional. So, like I said, I'm proud that I finished school, I'm proud that I do an assignment, but this part's just being me, and so it doesn't feel like there's just no other option. So I don't know. There's people on social media who talked about how they felt, and that was how I felt, and much more, I don't know. The things they said resonated with me much more than things I'd ever really heard before from other people, if that makes sense. And by other people, I kind of mean like cis people, other people I grew up with, things that were vocalized within groups of girls. I didn't necessarily resonate with things that were vocalized in the groups of boys. And then it was these people on social media and these public figures that talked about their experience that sort of made me go, it's that saying of like, that's your people, because you feel the same way and you've had the same thoughts and you've often had very similar experiences too, by the nature of who you are. For me, asking for things to be changed on your behalf is a big one, so asking for that. And then if that doesn't happen, you demand it as well, because there's more than one of us on the entire planet. I was coaching a lot and I get called a female coach a lot, or a great role model as a female coach, or like they're looking to hire more female coaches, and I'm like, I can just be a coach, you know? Especially because you don't have, like, you often aren't, it's coaches and female coaches, often not male coaches and female coaches, but anyways, that's another topic. And so, like, if someone was to misgender you or represent you in the wrong way, you either just have to sort of accept it, or you have to stand up for yourself and go and correct them. You never know how those conversations are gonna go. And so it'd be really nice if it wasn't sort of all on the person's shoulders in the future, I think. You can't be yourself when you're not in a safe place, because people have been kicked out of their homes and worse for just being who they are and outwardly showing that. And so, yeah, there's definitely an element of whenever I talk about this stuff, and especially like to younger kids, is you don't know the situation someone else is in. So I was really fortunate to have a family that just accepts me as I am. I potentially could be putting myself at risk going to foreign places and going to different communities, that if people were to find out I had a top surgery or identified as not cis, that my safety could be in danger. But I know that where I currently live, I am safe, I am welcome, I'm accepted. And so that's really what's allowed me to make that transition, because it sucks, but you still have to make sure you're safe. You get to the place where you recognize who you are in different ways for every single person, and then again, the how do you then be yourself in public or in private, or how you can do that. So I think the seeing more and more people talk about it, I think is what gives me a little bit of hope with this. There's a lot more people who are outspoken about it, as well as whether they're LGBTQ plus or not, you have a lot of allies that are really outspoken about things. Finding out how you identify, or how you want to identify, how you want to present, all those sort of things can take time, and they can change over time. I know it can seem, especially public figures or something like that, or influencers can end up seeming very concrete in how they want to present. But I also think it's gotten better that people are more transparent about either their journey to where they've sort of settled now, or even when they think they've settled and then things change. So don't feel like you have to like put labels on it and then stick to those labels until you die. That's not really how things work. You can present how you want and feel how you want, and don't feel like you have to fit into a neat little box, especially at first. If there's often really specific gender terms, and then there's your more and more general terms, and if a general term works for you, use it. Don't feel the need to rush into anything, but also, if things feel right, use them. It is, as much as there's shared experiences, it's also a really unique journey, and it can be a really special journey, even if you go through that journey of questioning who you are, what gender you'd like to be, who you're attracted to. Even if you go through that journey and you end up being a cis straight person, you still went on a really cool journey. As I've sort of come out, that I just take up space, and people have to be comfortable with me, rather than me making people comfortable. They just have to be, because I am here.